Hello. Good morning. Good evening. Good afternoon. I am the Dark Knight. Hopefully, there'll be a name change pretty soon. Hope everybody's doing well. How's everybody doing? Good. I hope. Um, Today's topic is gonna be it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good conversation today. We'll see how this goes. Hope everybody's had a good week so far. It is Thursday in Japan for me. It is Wednesday in the United States. How's everybody doing? Oh, I'm drinking coffee. Let's keep it real. I need coffee. See the bags under my eyes? I need coffee. Today is a rainy day, but I enjoy rainy days. Let's start this off with a good note. I enjoy rainy days. I love rainy days. I could literally play the sound of rain and go to sleep every night and not have a problem. I think when I lived in DC, I did it. I did it for a while. I put rain sounds on when I couldn't sleep and lay in bed, and next thing you know, I was asleep. YouTube has some videos that's like an hour, 2 hour, 10 hours long. You just wake up and it just rotates. Kate, at the swimming lesson, the reception is crap. Some stroke. It's only water. I learned how to swim in the military. Outside the military, I couldn't swim. Excuse me. I tried a bunch of times. It didn't work. But when I got to the Navy, it worked. So I'm all for it. Learn to swim. It's a good thing. So Black Wednesdays, which would be yesterday for me, today for you guys in the United States of America. Black Wednesdays got postponed. My house was crazy yesterday. Wife was home. The kids was up going crazy. So I just said, you know what? We'll talk about what I'm gonna talk about on Thursday. So it'll be Wednesday, Black Wednesday / Thursday. I know it sounds crazy. Yesterday my house needed some milk. It was crazy out there, and hopefully it sounds good. Is the sound good? Can everybody hear? Okay, so I guess not. Guess it's still the sound keeps going up and down. Malbred, what's going on? Can you hear me? Do I sound good? Do I need? I'm up as loud as I can go. So maybe I just need to talk it to the mic. Do like Ricky Bobby? I don't know what to do with my hands. Okay. So that means the sound. Let's see. There we go. Okay. Okay. So today's topic. Let me make sure it's updated on Twitch. I know it's just chatting, but I want to make sure the title is right. Is being a man confusing? Um. Okay. Sounds better. Good. 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 Thank you, Mel Bread. How you doing? Thank you for stopping by. Um. So I'm still live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. My boy Walt just stopped by and said, "Hell yeah, that it is." What's up, Walt? All right, so I'm getting all this. So if I'm talking to somebody, I will say what I'm doing or who I'm talking to and the question they ask. So it's being a man confusing. So um, being a man in today's society is um, it's scary and it's difficult. Okay, and I say that to say this: being a man in today's society has so many shackles on it. Now, I'm not saying that men are being oppressed and we're not being looked at in the same light and all this other crazy stuff. This is what I'm saying about being a man. When being a man is, I haven't worked, and my wife can attest to this, and my boy Walt can too. I haven't worked since we've been in Japan. I just been going to school. Um, so I'm not the breadwinner. I'm not bringing in the money. And yeah, you have to understand that sometimes you have to take a back seat. And I hear old guys and old heads say all the time, like, "Yo, this when I was in a relationship with my wife before we got married, and we got married, she didn't do this and she didn't do that." And I understand where they're coming from. Okay, what I don't what I don't understand from the OGs and the old heads, you know, the ones that I'm looking up to or look to for guidance, the ones that don't understand times have changed and it's not the same anymore. So when people, as men now, going through how the world is today, it's when I say it's hard and scary to be a man, we have to navigate like we walk on eggshells sometimes, if that makes sense. Um, you have to you have to be able to be strong and masculine at the same time, be fearful and careful of what's going on around you. Like you have to have a, what's the word I'm looking for? You have to have this sixth sense about some stuff that you may not know. Um, being able to navigate the world today as a man has become difficult, and I'm not saying that it's never been easy. What's up, Ramon? It is. I'm gonna get the word right, and I promise I'm gonna get the word right. I'm just trying to get my point across. Um, Men are seen as caregivers. Okay, when you when you when you talk about a relationship, the man is the one that's supposed to do. You're supposed to be able to do and not look for something in return. Um, when you're the man and you're going throughout life as a man, there's certain do's and don'ts. Now, I'm not saying women don't have the same thing. This is my opinion. If you agree, you agree. If you disagree, you disagree. This is my opinion. Being a man now is difficult. Even they say testosterone's level are lower now than they were back in the day. Like, I know men that are adult men that can't cook. And I always ask myself, there's no way you can't cook if you can read. You might not get it right the first time. You're not supposed to. When you learn how to cook, I learned how to cook as a kid. My she was my great grandmother. Okay, but I call her grandma. And when I listen to me really good, the first thing I ever cooked in my life was cream of wheat. And for those you know, it's not grits, it's cream of wheat. Okay, and my grandfather came down from San Diego. I was in Texas. I was born and raised in the greatest country ever, Texas. And don't at me, it is what it is. um, and when I learned how to cook, when my great grandma taught me how to cook, um, she taught me how to cook cream of wheat. And when my grandfather came down from San Diego to Houston, uh, I was like, Grandpa, I know how to cook. I know how to cook breakfast. He was like, well, cook me something for breakfast. When I tell you I made cream of wheat that was so lumpy, okay, like you know how you go in and stir it and then you catch that ball. It was so lumpy. That man sat there and ate that cream of wheat, okay, and he said that was the best cream of wheat he ever ate. Now that was as a kid. My mother put me on there and said, you know what, I'm gonna show you how to make hamburger helper. See, they started me off easy and get to understand like what it was. So when I say if you're a man and you cannot cook and you haven't tried, you're in the wrong. Now, I will say this though, as a man in a relationship, when in a relationship you have to know when somebody can do something better than you, and you have to be okay with it. Okay, you have to be okay with it. You have to understand that maybe this part of it is not for you. Okay, now my wife, yes, Ramon. Excuse me. A lot of people. I have three sons. I have two daughters, and um, being a man is my father is still one of my favorite heroes to this today. I'm a big Batman fan. I'm a big Kobe Bryant fan. Rest in peace. But my father was my first hero, and as a man, when I say you have to be able to navigate this world and be strong and be vulnerable. Now I'm not saying women don't have that same path, but it's different. And this is where it gets different. I think today feminism has not feminism. I'm saying it wrong. Sexism hurts men. And not to say that it hurts us in a very long prolonged way, but it hurts us to where you'll hear people say, I want men should talk about their feelings and men should be more vulnerable and men should do ABCXYZ. When was the last time as a female you've looked at a man and go, he's vulnerable and I like it? Man, we weren't I wasn't I know I wasn't raised that way to be the first time to be vulnerable. The first time I saw my father cry, I've seen my father cry twice, I want to say. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But from my own memory, when my great grandmother died, I saw him cry. There was a death in the family when I first saw him cry. Myself with my eyes, with my own eyes. There was no there was no he's feeling bad and he down and he in the living room crying and TV on. That we never I never saw that from my dad, from my father. Okay? Never. Not saying that's a good thing, but it's just how I was raised. You know what I mean? So when my father cried, then I knew when at that point I knew that when I saw my father cry, it was serious. So the first time I really saw him cry was then when my great grandmother died, and then when I was the first one to graduate from high school, he teared up. It was happiness. So I understood that it had to be something that really stuck with him to have him cry, because you're not as a and I'm an older male. Okay, I understand that as a man, you have to be a rock, and you have to hold a certain kind of like you have to hold yourself to a certain like degree of how you're looked at. Now, I did say earlier that I'm not working now, and I'm going to school, and my wife is the greatest thing since sliced bread to me. Okay, um, she has this last almost 2 years now. She's been going to work. I pay what I can pay, and I do as much as I can, just do as much as I can do when it comes to the kids or whatever. But she has had the ball and ran with it for a while now, and I love her for it. And I may not tell all the time, but I do, and I praise her for it. I may not do it out loud, but I do. Being a man in this situation, at first, it was like I feel bad, but she knows, and she understands that I'm the purpose on the other end. She sees the light at the end of the tunnel when I didn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. You know what I mean? She sees it to the point where you can. She knows I'm going to school. The end fact is my degree. I get my degree. When I go back, I can get a better job. I can make more money. You know what I'm saying? Like I. She sees the umph and the purpose of it. She sees the 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 end result. I didn't at first. I was like, I'm going to school. I'm not working. I'm used to working. I'm used to working. I'm going to school. I'm not working. I'm staying home with the kids. I'm taking care of the kids. I'm she don't call it cleaning up. She call it straightening. I call it straightening up. Oh, Moon, what? Moon, thank you for the subscription. um, thank you, Moon. I gotta get a subscriber video. I'm just lazy as hell. My apologies. I got off topic. You knocked me off guard, Moon. Um, it's harder to be. At first, it was hard for me to see it. Uh, I'm so sorry, Brodecka. I need to put. I'm gonna put the UK. I'm put both of them, the UK and the AU, in there next time in the title. Um, it is harder to be for me. Well, I'm not sorry. It was harder for me to get in and be in a relationship and not work. As everybody knows, and I've said this in numerous streams, I love my kids. I ain't gotta like them. I love them. I wish them well. I hope they do the best they can, and I can. As a parent, you never know how good you do with your kids until they leave your house. When they leave your house and they navigate the world is when you know if you were a good parent or not. And then sometimes that's not the case. You can be a good parent and get and do everything and help them out and guide them, but they still have to make that decision. But staying home, I digress. Staying at home as a stay-at-home father, it's not easy, but and it's not hard because like right now, I give you the morning. I wake up, my baby boy wakes up, he's up moving at 6. Easy. Sometimes 3:30, 4 o'clock, whatever Kobe decides on is when what's going on. If he is up, I'm up, regardless of how much sleep I got, whatever's going on. I'm up. Then he's moving, and it's time for him to eat. At about 6:20, I wake my other son up. He got to get ready to go to school so he can eat. So I'm feeding one cereal, the other one's eating cereal, and then drinking juice. Then the other one has to get ready to get up. So I'm constantly moving. Now, right now, when I stream, is when I put the baby boy to sleep. My daughter, Princess Leia, is Princess Leia. Okay, I'm just gonna put it out there. She'll be waking up at around 11 o'clock. She watches cartoons all night and then she falls asleep. So I'm not gonna see her till like 10:30, 11 o'clock. She gonna get up. She gonna want her tablet. She gonna want something to eat. As soon as I'm done streaming, uh, if she doesn't want nothing to eat off the back, I go and get her something to eat. And when I'm done streaming, we get ready to go get my son from school. When he doesn't walk to my wife's job, and then we come home. I get them something to eat. We come home, they eat, get situated. If I wash clothes, I wash clothes. If I got the energy to still fold them, I go fold them. Being a stay-at-home father never stops. You know when you go to work, you go to work. You go to work, you do your job, you got lunch. If you take it or not, you come home, you can leave work at work. Now, I'm not saying we all do it. I remember going to work and bringing work home, and it was pissing me off, and that's understandable. But staying at home as a father is totally different. I have enjoyed it, and I hate it at the same time. Like I said, I love my kids, but I ain't got to like them. Um, but on the outside of this, I know when I get back that the world is different, and being a man trying to navigate the world today is a long ongoing test. A long ongoing test. We're seeing this caregivers. Men are not men's. I just went left field right there, didn't I? Men are not allowed to show feelings. And I know there's a lot of people that say, no, man, you need to show your feelings. You need to do this. And it's good for men to show their feelings. But for us that is not of this generation, that wasn't raised that way, that's the hardest thing to do sometimes. Is to show feelings. It really is. To show feelings as a man, for me, I'll say, take care of the grown ass kid. You right, Walt. You right, Walt. Uh, a man showing feelings to me is kind of Now, when I say feelings, I mean like cry, or you depressed, so you show the feelings. Like I hold that stuff in, and I know it can irritate my wife sometimes that I do, but appreciate the lurk, Persian. Um, Showing feelings for me as of right now, as someone who was raised in an era where feelings wasn't really showed, is strange. At the same time, it's uncomfortable. Maybe in certain instances, it's uncomfortable. There is always, like, if I feel down about something, I'll think on it. I'll think really hard on it, or I'll step back and be like, okay, what do I need to do, um, or how do I get past this? But I don't like to show feelings. Sometimes I wish I could show more feelings, but like I say, the way I was raised and the way things have, and it's nothing to knock on my parents. It's just you raise your kids in a time. I raised my kids in a time that was way different from me. Like I remember my kids. I'm sorry, I said it all wrong. I remember as a kid growing up, going outside, playing. Yes, I played video games. I think for a whole summer I stayed in and played video games until like maybe the mid end summer, and I went out and played basketball and did all that other stuff. But I still remember having that time. Now you can't even let a kid go outside without having to worry like, are they coming back home? Is somebody gonna try to take them? Like, as a man, period, as a man, the plate that you have in front of you is so full that sometimes you kind of like, I don't know, being a man is confusing. Like even right now, talking about it, being a man is confusing. Oh, they're gonna miss this, right? What's going on? Being a man is confusing. Even right now, talking about it, and I know this is gonna sound crazy, but I'm confused because men can hold the pressure. I tell my wife all the time, I can take the punches. So if I'm talking to someone, or if I'm fighting, or if I'm going to bat for somebody, or I'm talking to somebody, and I can take the punches. I'm built that way to take the punches. So if you want to call me everything under the sun but a child of God, do it. And I say this to say that, get it off your chest, because as a man, we don't get a lot of opportunities to get stuff off our chest, and I that's a big problem. Like in today's society, it feels like um it's not cool. It's not cool to be a man, if that makes any sense. It's not cool to be a man. Give me 1 second. My daughter just woke up and she's calling my name. I will be right back. All right. Daddy duties. Gotta keep going through it. Daddy duties. Um Back to what I was saying. Navigating the world today as a man, you looked at under a microscope. If you say something that you didn't mean in a way that messes somebody up or pisses somebody off, that's on you. Even though you may not have known, like this whole council culture thing is ridiculous, and like to a point. The council culture is ridiculous to a point. Um, but like I'm even listen to me real good. Even me sitting here talking about it and trying to get to understand it, um, even when I was trying to get ready for this stream, it kind of like, even doing research for this type of stuff was like, I know what I want to say, but how do I say it? Okay. Um, there is like, I don't know. Let me get myself straight. A good portion a good portion of a man's life is being the rock, even as a boy. Now, like I said, this is off of me. I'm going off of how uh, I was brought up, and I'm saying this from my point of view. So this is my opinion. Um, Even as a boy growing up, if you unless you got seriously hurt, what you crying for? Ain't no ain't no blood. What you crying for? Um, you're automatically looked at as a threat. As a man, you're looked at as a threat because people want to hurt you. It may not be intentionally, and it may be, but somebody out there wants to take your spot, whether it be a job, a relationship, or whatever it may be. As a man, you look at everything differently. Now, men don't do thing on. We don't do a lot of things on feelings. Like if you think about it, if a man did 50% of the stuff he felt in a certain situation, we would be looked at in a totally different light. And that's the crazy part about life. Women live off emotion. Men are men have to if as a man, if you don't think first and you run into something, you could hit your head so goddamn hard. You could probably could kill yourself. And I hope Twitch is going okay. Let me see. Let's see. Sorry. I think my Twitch is I think Twitch went down on me. Are we still up and running on Twitch? Is let's see. Yes, we are. Okay, cool. Just had to make sure. Um Men can't go off of feeling because guaranteed if you do, you mess up somewhere. If I went off feeling with 50% of the stuff that happens, I'm always gonna be fighting somewhere. Somewhere for some reason. Off of straight feeling. Nothing else. We can't go off. Men can't go off feeling. We go off instinct, and maybe the instinct's not right. But the instinct not being right for a man and going off feeling is two different things. Because you can go off an instinct and it may not go as you planned it to be, and you can try your best to recover from it, or may not. You may have to take a different route. But when a man goes off feeling, that's a bad day. That's a bad week. That's a bad month. Hell, it could be a bad year. As a man, you cannot go off feeling. And not I'm not saying that society doesn't see it like that, but just see it like that. But as a man, if you know a man that goes off feeling, think about it. Think about a man that goes off feeling. Think about people you've seen in the world as a man that goes off a straight feeling. And I'm not saying like a gut, like not a gut feeling, but emotion. A man going off emotion is looked at differently. You can never go off emotion as a man and not get some kind of backlash. That's something to think about. You cannot go off emotion as a man and not get some kind of backlash. Bro, you're a man. Why would you even do that? We don't move like that. Now, I'm not saying you can't, but there's a time and a place for a man to go off emotion. We got our homeboys. We got people we talk to. We got close friends and family members that we talk to that we can go off emotion. So I'm not saying that we can't all the time, but we have to pick our spots. Because as a man, you don't go off emotion. You got to think it through. Your gut feeling, you may feel bad about a situation. Your gut might tell you to do something. And you like, I'm going to go with my gut on this one. It may not work out. It may work out. Hell, it might be the best thing that ever happened to you. And then it may not be. But if you go off emotion, strictly off emotion, it won't work out 75% of the time. Maybe I'll give it 80% of the time it won't work out. Because we don't run off emotion. We have to think before we move. The backlash for a man is crazy. Crazy. Should it be that way? No, it shouldn't. If I have an emotion and I want to express it, I should be able to express that emotion and not have a problem when it come back around. Because people will hold it. Oh, you remember when the Dark Knight went off on so and so and he was on straight and then he said this feel like this? I'm not looked at the same. It is what it is. I understand it. As an older male, I understand it. So when I hear older males that are older than me go, when I was dating and I was getting married, my wife didn't do ABCXYZ and I didn't do ABCXYZ. It's not like that no more. That's when my feeling. That's when I get in my feeling. Cause yeah, it's I understand when you came up and you were in a relationship and coming up in a relationship and going through everything that went through in your relationship before, during, and after. It's not the same now. You're not seeing what we are as men growing up under your generation go through to a point where it affects you. When you get older, a lot of stuff don't affect you. Even now, a lot of stuff doesn't affect me from the generation that's under me. I might have to sit back every now and then and listen and try to get a better understanding of a bunch of stuff, but it doesn't affect me to where I'm in my feelings. That's what I'm getting at. Like you can be a man and run off emotions now, but you have to be ready for the backlash. You have to be ready for the backlash. The backlash is gonna be, but you're a man. Why would you do that? That's why men think it through first, or try their best to think it through first before we make a move. The pressure on a man is very, very high. And let me say this one more time because I know somebody's gonna see this and go, well, what about women? I'm not. This topic has nothing to do about women. I understand women have their own pressures, but as a man, we can't move in a certain way that women can. Okay, no matter no matter your no matter your sex, your race, your religion, you move differently as a man, no matter what. Look at look at how TV is set up. Okay, the shows on TV are now more set up for women. That's not a bad thing. I'm not saying that to say it's a bad thing. I'm saying that some of the top shows on TV may not be male driven. Not a bad thing, but it's just the way it is. Um, a lot of women, and there are some men. I'm not gonna say I don't watch half the stuff. I watch some of it. Okay, your love and hip hops, your housewife TV shows, your dramas. Like I don't watch a lot of that stuff. I I'm not gonna lie. I love hip hop and loving hip hop Atlanta. I watch it. It's entertaining. Okay, it's entertaining, and I'm not gonna say it's not. Okay, I I'm not saying I don't watch that stuff. It's entertaining. But when you, as a man, when you watch that stuff, when the females go off script or when the females start to get into it, I go, okay, it'll boil over and we'll have another episode about it. But when you watch a show like that and you see men do some shit, you go, why would you do that as a man? When men watch shows, we watch it from a perspective of, let me see what this dude gonna do. Or we watching it for the women. Let's be 100 about it. We watching the show for the women. You're gonna look. If you're in a relationship, you're married, you can look all day. Just don't touch. That's just it's plain and simple. You just don't touch. I can look at a woman all day, no matter what she look like. Most of the shows with men, as we watch them, not watching for the story, especially not no reality TV show. Like, come on, man, that's easy. That's the easy part. But we can't move. Men can't move like women do. Men can't run emotion first and then think about it second. We think about it first, and the emotion gets pushed to the side till we can get some kind of clarification. Then we go for it. That's all I'm saying. It's cool. It's cool for women to move like they do. I understand the even the way the world is. I understand, but there is no doubt that today as a man it's hard. If a man comes home and his first thing is, well, I'm a clean, I'm gonna get the kids situated, I'm gonna cook. It's like, okay, women have been doing that forever, but you don't get in your as a man, you can't get into you can't get into your feelings because it's been done. What you're trying to do has already been done. I saw a post the other day that said we should cancel Father's Day because it's what was the word? It's sexist and it's not right for same sex couples. Excuse my Spanish. What in the fuck, Kanye? How, Sway? I don't expect nothing on Father's Day. I don't want nothing. Hell, if I don't hear Happy Father's Day, I don't care. I'm a father every day. That's plain and simple. There's nothing. I don't need a date for that. I don't need a gift for that. I don't need a mug. I don't need nothing. I'm a father every day. So every day that I wake up and my kids wake up and they are healthy and they are good to go and they not hungry and they ain't hurting each other, I'm good. I'm great. I don't need it. And if you think I'm lying, you can ask my wife. Asks me all the time, "What you want for?" I don't want nothing. What you want for Christmas? I don't want nothing. My daughter. Yes. Okay. She wants a cheeseburger and it's 10 o'clock in the morning. Y'all give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Daddy dudes have kicked in again. All right. Sorry about that, y'all. Daddy duties. I got to get my daddy duties done. It is what it is. Um. Okay. Now I lost my train of thought. I don't know where I was, but we'll get it back. We'll get it back. Um. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Why does it keep going offline? All right. Being a man. And that's what we were. We've been being a man. Let's take. Let's just take dating. Okay. Let me tell you something right now. Dating now, I'm good. I'm so glad to be married. Cause dating now, it it. Let me say this: it's plain. It's crazy. It's crazy hell out here right now trying to date. You can't get you ain't gonna finna get me out here. Listen, what I tell you, I told my wife, I love my wife. If we don't make it to where we want to make it to, and we separate it, this is my end goal to be married forever. Okay, if that don't happen and we don't make it, I've told my mom I'm gonna buy a house with a room for each one of my kids. Okay, I don't want to deal with no more women. Okay, I don't want to learn no more like ways. I don't care about that. Okay, I'm not. I This is it. You're it. After that, it's me and the kids. I don't care. They come over. They want to stay. You got your room. You know where it's at. That's where I'm at. Okay, but dating. Oh my god, dating now. Nah, keep that noise. Dating now is ridiculous. Uh, Even dating back when, men are expected to make the first move. Now I will say this: you get you get today where there are a few women that will make the first move, but women have the option not to. Um, that is always been that way. Women have an option to say, "I have an option. I don't have to go for this. It's in front of me." Men don't, and the men that do are high profile men. They have the ability to have that option. Being a man and having to make the first move is uncomfortable. At the same time, you get that anxiousness about you, because you can go into and try to date and try to talk to a female as a man, and you go into it. You know what? I'm gonna talk to her, see what she's about, and you can go into it and misread a whole like situation. You can make a woman uncomfortable. I will give women this now though. A lot of them will say, "Hey, you're not my type. I'm, I'm not looking." If they don't have a boyfriend, they say I have a boyfriend. It can be diverted and understand, and it's understood. Um, but as a man, you have to be able to see the hints that a woman is not into you. I guess you have to try to see that. Yeah, dating now, Blaze says dating nowadays is hard. People want perfection right away. Yes, way too many creeps. It's way too many creeps. This is the thing though. If we're gonna talk men in relationship, let's look at it from this point of view. If you, as a man, go into a relationship and you're looking just for, um, if you looking for perfect when you go into a relationship as a man, you already gave yourself the wrong look. You've given yourself a foot back. You went back 6 steps playing the game of life. It's not supposed to be perfect. There's gonna be in a relationship. Now remember, this is my point of view. If you agree, agree. If you disagree, I understand. but this is my point of view. If you are in a relationship, there's going to be a point in time where you and your girlfriend, wife, significant other, partner, whatever you want to call it, you're not going to agree. It might be on a sandwich. I don't agree with you on a sandwich. It's going to happen. Why? Because you're taking two different personalities and trying to make them into one, or trying to find that sweet spot till y'all can compromise and still be good and okay. In a relationship, you cannot be right all the time. As a man, there's a lot more in a relationship that you're going to have to take and not be able to give back. If that doesn't make sense and you're in a relationship right now and you wonder why it's going the way it's going, think again. Think about it hard. Think about what you're doing. Think about your situation. In a relationship, a man has to take in more, and a lot of it cannot come back out. If I'm lying, I'm flying. And I'm still sitting in this chair. Sheet. I don't know why I said sheet. Jesus Christ. There is a way as a man you move in a relationship. Okay? There's a way you move in a relationship that makes things easier. That's just point blank, period. The way you move in a relationship is you make it easier on yourself. There's the saying is happy wife, happy life. There's not one for a man. I'm not hurt about it. It is what it is. But let me say again, I grew up in a different time. My kids are growing up in a different time. As a man, when we were growing up as kids, my father made sure we had a roof, food, and he always had a job. I don't care what it was. Always. If you're an old head or you're an OG now and you have young guys looking up to you or coming to ask you questions and you can't give them a straight answer, don't give them no bullshit answer. I don't know. I can't raise my kids like I was raised. There's a lot of stuff that my parents didn't have to deal with that I have to deal with as a parent. As a man, there's a lot of stuff that my father never had to deal with that I have to deal with as a man. And I'm not just speaking relationship. I'm just in general. Nowadays, as a man, if you go get an old head and I sit them down and I talk to them, a really true person, somebody's gonna tell you the truth and talk to you, you would be your in your mind, you would go, wow. We went outside. My dad never said somebody gonna snatch y'all. Stay here. I got it. We had to go places. We had to do certain things a certain way. Only thing I had to do was be at home before the street lights came on, before it got dark. That's it. My son is fortunate. My middle son is fortunate that we live over here. He can go outside in Japan and not be bothered. My son will leave, go play. He know when it's time to come home. He come home, take a shower, eat. He's in for the rest of the night. I know that he's not going to be able to do that when we get back. To a certain point. But as a man in today's world, with the creeps and the fools that's out here, you mess with mine, you gotta die. You honestly have to move differently as a man these days. And if you don't think you do, you wrong. As a man, you don't have a terrible day. That's how society sees it. The first thing they tell you is man up. You're a man, man up. Take that shit on the chin and keep moving. That is one of the most popular things that people say to a man outside of the people that you honestly really talk to. Man up. And it don't have to be, you can already be on the edge, and it could just be that one thing that pushes you over. You just, it takes your day to a very bad day. Man up. So what, you had a bad day? We don't move like women. Does this hurt sometimes? Of course it does. But in the end result, the real question is, who cares? Mental health is a real thing. Struggling with mental health is a real thing. You have to have an outlet to talk to. Just because someone is a man doesn't mean that they are immune to struggling with mental health. Being a man, you're far from it. You have to be able to have somebody to talk to. There's a safety blanket as a man. I honestly, if you talk to a man and that man says, I don't have a safety blanket, or I don't have anybody to talk to, that man needs somebody to talk to. I'm saying that to say this. You have to have somebody to talk to and get some of the stuff off you. It ain't got to be everything. You may have multiple people that you talk to about different things. You might have that one person. Talk to somebody. As a man, you get looked at in a different life. You cannot move off your emotions. But when you have somebody to bounce stuff off of, to talk to, it makes shit easier. There is no there's no do-overs. Men don't get a big amount of numbers of do-overs, especially with emotion. That it just does not happen. Even as a man, think about this, and this can go both ways. Say you're a teacher, you're a male teacher, and you have a female student that has a problem, and you tell that student, "I can help you after class. Just get with me after class." If you say that in front of somebody, somebody can take that the wrong way. 80% of the time, 95% of the time, somebody's gonna take that the wrong way. Oh, she get to stay after class. But you would do that for everyone. And you probably said it before. I'll if you need a little help, you need to stay after class, you can stay. But that one time the female says it and you tell her the same thing, it get looked at in a different light. Females the same though. If a male is in the classroom and the female teacher says, just give me after class, I can help you out, I'll say about 30 to 40% of the time it gets looked at in a bad light. As a man, it's way higher. Our perception of a man in today's society is so down looked on, down looked on. I hope I'm saying this right. That it makes it makes you kind of question like, hey man, like you question everything you do as a man when it's like that. Sorry for hitting my mic. Um, you watch how you move so much that you become paranoid on how you move. Now you get some in like I don't care, bro. I said what I said, and it is not meant for ABCXYZ. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. But you get some people out here that go, "Oh, you want to meet with them after class? Oh, you want to do this with her later?" It's not like that. I'm not coming into it for that. Here we go. Thank you, daughter. As a man, the worst gets looked at first. That tells you how society looks at a man right now. Like it's not cool to be a man. I've been rough with all my kids, especially this last one, because he's rough. He's completely rough. I was rough with my daughter to a point, but as a father, my instinct is to make sure they're tough. Yeah, my daughter will grow out of it. She'll be more, she'll be more ladylike and feminine and all that good stuff, and I'm happy for that. But as a man in today's world, that get looks down upon. I know I'm gonna get it right one day. It get looked down upon. I'm not gonna change the way I be a man in situations. I'll think it through, and if I mess up and you correct me as a man, if you correct me as a man, and I can't say, you know what, that's my fault. I apologize. I know now. Then you're not even trying. As a man, you're not even trying. Today's society is way more sensitive than it was, especially when I was growing up. A man will be looked at from at the first point as this might be the worst dude ever. Now, if you open your mouth and you're not, and you understand it, and you do this certain stuff, and you do this and do that, okay, he's not as bad as I thought he was. Easy because you can feel invisible as a man, especially in today. And in the world today, you can feel invisible as a man. And to feel invisible as a man is not it's not a good feeling. You could literally as a man be the most depressed person on the fucking planet and nobody would give a shit. Could give care less. And you can be invisible to a lot of people. No matter how you felt. Nah, he's a man. He'll figure it out and get over it. I'm not saying it's bad to talk, but have your safety net. Have that person or those people that you talk to. So it makes being a man, especially in today's world, easier. Or not even easier, or easier to navigate through. Because with that, I'm probably gonna mess this up, and I apologize. With the LGBTQA plus, I'm gonna get that one day, and I'm gonna remember it. Community, things are getting different. With just feminism and how women are moving now, things are getting different. So the traditional man woman, that line is blurred and gray now. You can't just look at that like that because it's not the same. It's not that way anymore. The world is going to constantly change, and as a man, you have to adapt to it. The world doesn't adapt to you. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. You cannot move off of feeling first. Men didn't move off feeling at first anyway. So when a woman gets mad that a man doesn't like to say how he feels or doesn't express his feelings the way she thinks he should, that's embedded in us. A certain amount of us. A certain amount of us that's embedded in that way. That's hands down the way it is. If if I think if women could mostly understand that and not let it frustrate them, they would get it. Being a man, and I'm not saying being a, not I'm not saying being a woman is easy. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is from a man's point of view, it's not easy. You don't get a pass 90% of the time. You're gonna get looked at in a negative light from people that don't know you. And that's for everybody. But for a man, when you walk in the door, the first thing you get is not gonna be a thumbs up. It's gonna be what the fuck? Easily. I'm not saying that it's not the same for women. I'm not saying that. I'm telling you this is my opinion, my point of view. That the feeling that the when we get the feeling that we want to do something, I guarantee you, if you get the feeling you want to do something, a man thinks about it 20 times over. If I really want to do it, that's just simple facts. A man thinks about it 20 times over before he actually does it. Excuse my Spanish, but fuck a feeling. I felt that way. Why did I feel that way? What made me feel that way? What can I do to not feel that way? When I feel that way, what should I do? When I feel myself getting that way, what do I do? Or how do I move around it? Or how do I move with it? Or what should I do when I get that way? Or let me just figure out a way not to get that way. That's a thought process. Men take the level of disrespect and things to a point where I don't need no help. I figure it out. Think about it. Most men don't like going to a doctor. I know I don't. It'll go away. It's a man's thought process. I'm not saying all men. My point of view, my microphone, the way I want to say it. Most men don't look at doctors. Even if you go talk to a doctor, they'll tell you most men problem is they won't come in if they hurt. I could be hurt. I could be in pain. It'll go away. I'm not going to no doctor. And the world looks at that like, you should not be that way. You should go to the doctor. Now I'm I'm good. Most men don't do that. Most men don't move that way. It's harder to get a man to go to the doctor, the dentist, if they like, oh, nah, it'll go away. All my two, it'll be. We don't do it like that. Men are seen as that they can shoulder it all. Put it on me. I even told y'all earlier. I said myself, I can take the punches. I truly can take the punches, and I mean that. I'm built that way. So if you mad at me and got a problem, just tell me. We can either figure it out or agree to disagree and move the hell on. I can be cordial. All right, man. It was nice talking to you, man. Nice seeing you. Boom. Move on. We ain't got to have no long, drawn out conversation. But that's what it is. We can shoulder it all. We're supposed to shoulder it all. In today's society, that's you're wrong if you do that as a man. You don't need to shoulder it all. How much though? How much don't I shoulder? Excuse me. That's the answer that could never be right, no matter how many answers you give. A man today doesn't know what he can and what he cannot hold on to, or how much he needs to, or how much he doesn't need to hold on to and let go. How much to let go, how much to keep. Society has made it uncool to be a man. People get mad at a man, and I'm not saying everybody. You see, I'm saying people. And I told y'all the last time I streamed that a person is smarter than people because you can talk to a person and get an understanding. But if you take a crowd of people and you're talking to them, one person out of that crowd is going to say something. Then another person is going to say something. And then they'll take that out of context. But if you sit down and actually talk to a person, you can get a better understanding. Today's society does not know when to say, you're good, you're a man. We understand. It, it is what it is. That part of society does not understand or does not, today's society does not have an answer for how much do I hold on to, how much do I let go. Because I guarantee you, if you put 10 people in a room and ask them this question, they're all going to give you a different answer. You might get a few people that give you the same answers on a certain few things, but you will not get a definitive across the board answer. Well, men should hold on this much but give this much up. Or men should show emotion but not this much emotion. Or they should show this much emotion but not this emotion. You're never gonna get that one saying, that one great answer. You cannot. Today's society is trying to tell a man how to be a man when it's already in us. They're just afraid to see it happen. Just like if you see two men, you assume they want to fight each other because of a disagreement. Men can have disagreement and still talk about it. Is that the known fact? No. I've had disagreements with other men. If we can't talk about it, let's leave it be. That's plain and simple. That's plain and simple. Leave it be. We don't agree. This is my position on it, this is your position on it. We can't find a common ground. Leave it be. Talk about something else. It is what it is. Society is not made for a man. Today's society, let me rephrase that. It's not made for a man to be a man. I'm always about women getting their rights, women doing what they want to do, what they need to do. But I have heard many of elder women say, and I might be going off topic right now, but I'm gonna say it. As a woman, you can't raise a man. And let me put that into let me do some explanation on that. You can raise a boy, but you can't raise a boy. And this is not a knock to single mothers. I know there's some single mothers out there that's doing their best. There's some single mothers that's got sons in the NBA and the NFL. They high profile, and I understand that. But at a certain point in a young boy's life, that father figure or male figure, if they didn't have a father or their father, has to come into play. And for those that have a stepfather, if that stepfather's not, if he can't come into play, if as a stepfather you can't understand that I'm hitting a wall. It's not my son, but at the same time I need help. You should get that man, that young boy's father. As a woman, and this is I've heard this several times from a lot of older women. As a woman, you cannot raise a boy to be a man. There's certain things that women will never go through that a man goes through that you can't navigate a boy through. You can talk to a boy all you want to. You can raise a boy to a certain point, but at a certain point, a male figure has to come in and do something. That's just plain and simple. If you stop a man from being a man, he's going to resent you. Men do a lot of stuff. We fight pain. We showed a lot. We don't. Some men don't ask for a lot. Don't want too much. Don't want nothing half the time. Just to be. But women, a lot of women won't understand that, and that's cool. It's understandable. As a man, I understand that because I'm not gonna say as a man if I have a daughter, I'm gonna help her through everything. No, no. There's I understand. I'm the oldest of three. Okay, I understand that I could not talk to my mother about everything, and there was some things I was gonna have to talk to my father about, and I understand that. I'm not mad at that. Nor was my mother mad at that. There's no point to be mad at that. For what? What's the point of being mad at something that it's not for you? You can't understand as a woman, you can't understand some of the stuff men go through. So you can raise a boy, but you can't raise a boy to be a man when it comes to certain things. I'm not knocking women. There's certain things that I can talk to my daughter about. Daughters, I got two of them. There's certain things I can talk to them about, and there's certain things I can't. There's certain things I will not understand. As a man in today's society, you take it. Society today is taking away just being a man. You can't do that. You don't let a man be a man. The man will resent you. The man will resent what's going on. He doesn't want to be a part of what's going on. This is a fact. If a man is in a relationship and you're not letting him be a man, what are you in a relationship for? What's the point of the relationship? That's all I'm asking. Like, let's be honest. It's got to be this way. It has nothing to do with I'm better than you. It's point blank period is what it is. As a man, you're expected to just be okay, no matter what. Just be okay with it. You don't have that as a woman. I'm not knocking that women don't have their own things or struggles or whatever they're going through, but as a man in society, you have to be okay with everything. And as soon as you're not, and you move on feeling, why would you do that? But I want you to show your feelings. What? So when I say, as a woman, you can raise a boy to a certain point, but for that boy to become a man, he has to understand that life does not look at you in this light. What's going on, Mysterio Hope? How you doing? Men are looked at in a light that has to be showed to him by another man. If you're a mother and you're taking your child to football games, basketball games, baseball games, hockey, whatever it be, and that child wants to play that, and that coach gets up and yells at that young man, you don't jump in. That's good, man. That's good. I'm glad you're doing good, Mysterio. You don't jump in. You don't undercut that coach. You don't undercut that father. There's a reason, whether they mess up or not, it's a reason why men deal with children the way they do, or they raise their kids or their sons to be the way they are for a reason. Society does not give you as a man a chance, a second chance, or a multiple chance to be to figure this shit out. You have to be in a place where being a man has to be looked at in a different light. At a certain age, as a boy, you there's a man that you cling towards. My father was my first hero. My father told me, you get into a fight, you better fight back. But if you get into a fight and you don't fight and you lose, you gotta come fight me. You don't want to fight me. That's all I needed. I don't need yo. Listen to me real good. My wife is here for the soft side of them, and I'm good with that. That's what she's here for. But when I'm wrestling with them, even if my daughter, if I'm wrestling them, I know how to be rough with my boys and how to be rough with my daughter. If they're at a certain point in time, for a couple of days before my baby boy went to sleep, he wanted to wrestle. I'd sit on the floor and I would just throw him around. Whether I threw him on the couch, power bombed him, it was you. I have to be a rough man with him. He's rough. My middle son's not like that. He's not as rough. Now I be rough with him every now and then. It's playful. I know how to do it. But at a certain point, they have to get they have to get that from a man. Not saying you as a mother can't be rough with your son. There's a different roughness when it comes to a father and their son. Hands down, it is what it is. Men aren't looked at and men are not looked at in a light where you can go, I will give him another chance. You don't get another chance. Men get less chances than women. You can be a confused man today. You can run off your emotions today, and I guarantee it's gonna come back and hurt you. Why would what's the first question? Why would you're a man? Why would you do that? Again, today's society will say, "Oh, man needs to be more vulnerable and doesn't need to do this and doesn't need to do that." But then go, "Why would you do this and do that?" Okay, what do you want from me, society? Because within my close net of friends or people who I talk to, I'm gonna be me. But society wants me to be okay. They just expect you to be okay. Oh, so and so, and this is going on now, and this is how we address. Okay, the first thing we say is okay. That's the easiest way to put it. You're okay. You like what? Oh, that's great. Hey, this is a movement going on. You got to be okay with it. Some men are not okay with it. Some men are like, look, this is not what it is, man. Let's just be in the moment of being a man. You stop a man from being who he is, he will resent you. Plain and simple. There's no other thing to it. And I hate when I hear people say, you shouldn't treat a boy like that because then he'll grow up thinking that way. If it's let me ask you a question. If I'm not teaching him to be negative towards anybody, race, sex, religion, political beliefs, what's the problem? You don't hate nobody. You don't come out the womb and hate. It's not the first thing you do when you come out the womb. You cry like hell. It's bright as fuck. Excuse my Spanish. But it is what it is. You don't come out the womb and hate. That is something taught. That is something embedded in you from somebody else that is that way. I don't hate another man. There are men out there like that. I'm not teaching my sons to be that way. It just cannot be that way. Especially as a man, as a young boy growing up in the world today, you have to be open to understanding a lot more, especially with the way I grew up. Half of the stuff that my sons will have to go through, I will never have to deal with. And that's what it is. That's just how the world turns. Nothing nothing stays the same. Nothing as a man, nothing stays the same for us and we still have to be okay with it. So if I'm teaching my sons to be open minded, to think about stuff in situations, and I'm rough with them and I'm doing something else with them, you should have no problem with how I raise my kids. And if you do, ask me how much you think I care. Because I don't. You have nothing to do what's going on with over here. You have nothing to do with it. You're not born with hate. You don't hate a person because of color of skin or their or their race or their religion or their political views until you learn about that stuff. You can disagree. I say it all the time. You can disagree. We can disagree about 90% of the shit in this world. If we can't find a common ground, let's move on. Next subject. It is what it is. Men don't get that chance to have a bunch of do-overs. It I mean, where do you why don't people understand this? Why do people get butthurt when you hear a man go, I care less? When all these movements starts going on and the Black Lives Matter and the feminists, if you really went to talk to somebody that had nothing to do with it, you know what they're gonna say? I understand it. I support feminism. I support Black Lives Matter. I support Stop Asian Hate. Nobody should be looked up on negatively. That's just point blank and period. Nobody should be looked at negatively. If you treat me good as a person, just a good person, I'm gonna do the same to you. You're not trying to stab me in the back and do all this. I'm the same with you. You want to sit down and have a talk? Let's talk. But don't expect me to pull my punches. Society today tries to put men in a box, and that's the problem. You can't put a man in a box. You shouldn't put a man in a box. When kids get in trouble at school, school should have changed a long time ago. Let's just put that out there. School should have changed a long time ago. Learning should have been changed and different a long time ago. I'm not saying everything, I'm saying how it's conducted. When you get out of school and you learn 90% of the stuff that you didn't learn in school, you really go and look at school like, what the hell? But just off of the education side of it, when you as a man start moving through society and you trying to figure your way out through this shit, you understand that there's a lot of stuff that you can't say, do, uh, feel, be, act, and you go, what? Women, women, go. Women have the opportunity to do a lot that men can't do. And I'm not saying women are not dealing with some of the same stuff. I'm telling you from my point of view, excuse me, as a man, we are raised differently. The one on Facebook, I don't care what people say. I raised my kids how I wanted. And yes, I had to fight a lot on how my kids should be raised. Moms be so difficult. Some of it out of love, but some of it is how we all was raised. Like girls care more than boys. Exactly. We care. Let's just put it out there. We as men, we care. We and this goes back to me saying, what do we show, what we don't show, what do we hold, what do we give away? As a man, you cannot say you can't show all your feelings. I tell my son it's okay to cry. Excuse me. Because if you cry and you get it out, it's good. But I'm not gonna raise you to cry for everything. Now, when he has his own kids, or they have their own kids, and they want to raise them the way they want to raise them, I'm all for it. Those are not my kids. I've raised you. Your When my parents got done raising me and I decided to go out on this world on my own, they couldn't raise me no more. Can I call them and ask for advice or ask them a question? Or hey, Dad, I remember when you made such and such dish. I can't remember it. I looked it up online, it just don't seem right. Oh, well, this what you do. This how you do it. You as a man, it's harder to ask for help because and Demont, if you still on Facebook watching, um, you can agree with me and tell me if I'm wrong or not. You figured it out. If you couldn't figure it out, you thought about it. You didn't ask for help a lot. I get stuck in that. I get stuck in that. I get stuck in the point where I'm trying to figure something out, figure out something. I might mess it up and do it wrong, but I do it. Yeah, there's things that if we don't have that answer, see, we had, and I know Demonte here. I know you're here. I just say you said I'm here. There were, if I couldn't talk to my dad about something, this is plain and simple. If I couldn't talk to my dad about something, I go talk to my uncle or even my best friends. If I couldn't talk to my dad about something, my uncle wasn't available, I go talk to their dad. Like we had there was a, what's the what I'm looking for? We had a community of people. It's okay for mothers to be soft and all that stuff. In society, that's okay. As a man, that's not okay. And I know that sounds wrong, me saying that, but as a man, what do I hold on to? What do I let go? And I guarantee you, if I ask 10 people this question, I get 10 different answers, with maybe one or two being the same. As a man, what do I hold on to and what do I let go? When can I not feel okay about something and when can I? You take away a man being a man, what are you doing? It's never been okay. If you was if it was a woman right now and she was like, I'm a woman, this is what I do, nobody would have a problem with it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Please tell me I'm wrong. But as a woman, if right now you got up and said, this is what I do, I'm a woman, nobody looked at that. Nobody looked at you going, this is my daughter. I got this. But to look at a man and go, this is my son. I'm going to raise him this way. I got this. You're raising him wrong. Shouldn't raise him that way. As long as I'm raising him right, not to disrespect nobody, to respect and treat everybody the same until they treat you wrong or you feel wrong by them and they can't explain why the hell it happened that way, you treat them right. You treat them with respect. You don't go out your way to hurt somebody or you don't go out your way to do bad to somebody. It's childish. I tell my son today at school, you don't hit nobody. You don't put your hands on nobody. If they put their hands on you, you put your hands on them and then you let the teacher know. I'll let me deal with the teacher. Let me deal when it get to my level, I got it. I don't play that. My dad told me the same thing. If they put their hands or feet on you, and I don't play spitting, bodily fluids, keep all that. What when that stuff happens, do what you need to do, and then let the teacher figure it out. and then they got a problem with it because you did what, then they'll call me. My dad told me the same thing. They'll call me. But you're not finna get bullied. Now people today go, that's not right. You can't tell a child that. What you mean? How? Why? Some of these kids coming home and yelling at parents. You ain't finna yell at me. That is what it is. But I'm as a man, I'm not finna send you out in this world and you ain't got the basics. As a man, this is just me speaking from a man's point of view to his sons, to men in general. This is where we are. This is point blank and period where we are as a man, as men. I'm sorry, as men. And I ask the question again: how much do I hold on to? How much do I let go? And I guarantee you they'll swap with whoever you ask. You can ask 1,000 people, and I guarantee you're gonna get at least 1,000 different answers. You're gonna get some that are the same, but you can get a lot of different ones. Well, you should be able to give your emotion. Okay. Then the next person is like, I don't need to see all that emotion from you. You're a man. So as a man, I teach you how to hold it. Okay. It comes out wrong. Why'd you do that? You're a man. Why would you move on emotion like that? Men don't get the numerous of options of being able to use their emotion to move around in the world. It's not how it works. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm right, you ain't got to tell me I'm right. Don't care. My mic, my time. You decide to watch. If you disagree, tell me you disagree. And tell me why you disagree. Men don't get to move in the world as women do. I can't bring my emotion to me everywhere. I can't take my emotions and use them as my drive. Men go off a gut feeling. If it feel right, we do something else. We just don't go, okay, let's do it right now. If it's a gut feeling, we think about it. That's plain and simple. I was not. This is a true fact. I wasn't gonna stream. I had a bunch of stuff ready to stream. Wasn't gonna do it. My wife said you should. You play video games anyway. You're not working. There's a good chance that maybe you'll make some money. Maybe you won't. But you get to do something you like, you love anyway. Okay. And I love her for that. And I say that to say this. I had already had stuff to do it. And it was still not doing it. And I say to people, and I say this all the time. As a man, we cannot move on emotion. You can have it. You can have the emotion. But you have to think about how to move. If men took their emotion into 90, I'm gonna say 90, 80% of the stuff we did, you would never look at men the same. That's the serious, most clearest way I can tell you. If we put our emotion in 80% of the stuff, if we run off emotion, it would not be a good. It would not be. The thing is, most of boys is raised by moms because dad at work all the time and dad's not around. My ex was not raised with her dad, but she knows of him. So she only know how to accept herself as law in the household because her mom was, and because of that we agreed about something. Well, oh, we disagreed about something, but was her way. And that's another thing. There's no single parent households, not a good thing. As a man, uh, I had both of my parents growing up. Mother, father, me, my brother, my sister, in a house. Did my parents argue a lot? Yeah. Yes. I don't like to argue now. That's just me. But I had friends that did not have a mother and a father in the home. I don't know when that became, around what, time frame, century, year, date, month, second, that was cool. As a father, it don't seem right to me. And it's just, I'm not knocking single parent homes. I'm not knocking it. But it should not be the norm. And I'm not saying I'm putting that all on the father. I'm putting that on society too. I'm not. If you're a man and you can't be in a relationship with a strong woman, and y'all can't figure it out, don't have kids. Don't bring something into this world that you can't handle completely. Kids are gonna be kids. I get three personalities every day, every hour, every minute, and every second. Three different personalities from two boys and a girl. Different. When I talk to my oldest daughter, which is in Texas, totally different personality. You can't control the personality, but you can guide it. You can help them understand. Don't I understand that there are strong women in this world, and strong women will be headstrong and do it. My wife is a strong woman. If my wife get paid or my wife gets some money, I don't never ask for it. I don't want nothing. I don't need nothing. My wife is a strong woman. But my wife understands that at a certain point, I'm going to be the way with my children the way I am. And she'll say, "You rough as hell with him." Yep, he's a boy. And and I tell her, I wasn't as rough with Leia as I am with Kobe. She said, "Yeah, you wasn't. You was rough with her, but you wasn't as rough." I know that. And she understands that. Don't listen to me real good. I understand that sometimes having children is a lot. They're here. Once they're here, they're here. There's nothing you can do. If you decide to leave, whether you're a mother or you're the father, and you leave the child with the other parent, the child's still here. The child's going nowhere. And it's understandable. That's on you. Name one child that asked to be here. Name one. Name one kid that said, you know what? Hey, that got in touch with y'all. I'm ready to be born. What's going on? Not one. So I don't blame kids when they come to these one sided home. The parent in society is where I'm looking at. I don't care, again, your political stance, the color of your skin, your religion. Be a good person. Being a man is hard enough. Excuse me. Being a man is hard enough. That's just, it is what it is. It's already hard enough to be a man anyway. Why in the hell would we make it harder? I'm not finna raise my kids to be evil. I said it earlier. You're not born that way. You're not. You're not born the way to be an evil person. You're not. You may come out the womb with a hell of a face, a hell of a look on your face. You might be pissed as hell when you come out the womb. You're not born evil. That's just plain and simple. You're not born evil. You get that from what you're around. And if you decide to change your surroundings once you get old enough and you move around, which I did at a certain point when I went to the military, you're gonna encounter totally different people. You're gonna encounter people that believe the same thing you believe. You're gonna encounter people that don't believe the same thing you believe. You're gonna get you're gonna encounter people that don't like you just to don't like you because they don't know you. And when they get to know you, they go, "Damn, bro, I didn't even know I don't even like you. I heard some stuff." Okay, Pasa, what's up, man? I heard some stuff about you. That's why I don't like you. Or so and so told me something about you. You can't. I'm not gonna go off of I don't like you. I'll talk to you before I say I don't like you. And I'll let you know, bro. What you doing or how you moving? It's not for me. I just don't get that way. And I tell my son the same thing. Watch how you watch who you friend. Don't follow the crowd all the time. You can't hate. You don't hate out the womb. It just that's not one of them things that you do. You just don't hate nobody as soon as you come out. That's not for real. Your upbringing, the way you come along, the way you're raised, the things you do, the things you start to understand make you either like people or hate people. You don't hate coming straight out the womb. It's not a thing. You might not like things, but you don't come out the womb straight hating. There's no hate in your blood when you come out. You learn that stuff from somewhere. You get that stuff from somewhere. As a man, when you do stuff like that, you make it harder for yourself to move around in the world, period. Because at some point you're going to need a connection. As a streamer, it's all about connections. It's all about who you know. You might see a stream and you might watch it and enjoy it and might tell somebody else about it. Oh, I'm gonna go check that out. Now you just gave that person another follower or a watcher or a subscriber, whatever it may be. I don't hate nobody. You don't hate coming out the womb. You don't disagree until you start to understand certain stuff. And to as a man from a man's point of view, when you add that on your plate on top of whatever else society has for you, you ain't doing it but giving yourself a un a bad head start. That's plain and simple. You just you there's no way. There's no way. If you ever get a chance to see kids interact, watch them. Watch how they interact. Kids have no filter. As a man, when boys start to play, they don't they don't say, "Well, I'm gonna go play with so and so because he the same color as me." They just want to be friends. They want to get to know the other person. There's no. Well, I can't play with them because they don't. Boys will play in dirt with each other. Boys will use swords as sticks with each other, and not one time go, "I don't like you because of the color of your skin." You're not raised. You're not born with that type of stuff. That shit. That is shit that is raised in you. That is stuff that you find out later on in life. And I'll say it again, and I'll say it again and again and again. As a man, if you pull that into your life and not open minded enough to understand and get your point of view across to a certain point, you messing up your head start as a man. You may not understand it, but not trying to understand it and just not understanding it is two different things. Nobody does. Nobody can hate you if you try to understand. If that person hates you when you're asking the question and they're not just like you generally say, "I don't understand. Can you help me?" And they are still not trying to help you, that person is toxic. Get away from 'em. As a man, asking for help anyway is a big ass step. That's a big step. And I'm not saying all men think the way I think. This is my opinion. This is the way I think. This is what I want to say. But all men don't think the same. For the ones that want to understand it or try to get to know it a little better or try to get a better understanding of how they should move around certain situations, if you're not helping them out, that man has already been pushed back. Or if you're a man and you don't want to understand it, you're wrong. You're wrong. Society's not built the way it is now, which is way different when I was born and raised and dealt with. It's not built the same. It's just not. You cannot be in this world and not try to have some understanding of what's going on around you. As a man, period, that helps you move better. That helps you understand better. That helps you get to a point where you can go, all right, I'm comfortable moving in this space. I'm comfortable talking to so and so about A, B, C, and X, Y, and Z. Like that's how you move. You can't move. I'm not gonna say you can't move in a certain way, but you have to be able to move around and be comfortable. The world already doesn't want you to be a man. What is it? What's the phrase I'm looking for? Toxic masculinity. Masculinity is actually toxic now. That wasn't thrown around when I was raised. Even as growing into be a man, it was not the same way. Like you just don't see stuff and go, I hate, I shouldn't understand that. Not in today's world. You can't do that in today's world. In today's world, you cannot come into everything that's going on and not try to understand some of this stuff, even just to help yourself out. As a man, you have to come into this with such an open mind to where you have to weed the stuff out that you just it just it just not for you. It's just some things are just not for you. It is what it is. When you start to when you start not to move around, and not to understand, you hurt yourself. And it's just as plain and simple as what it is, man. There's a lot in this world that we miss out on due to our own stupidity. As a man, when I say stuff like it's confusing being a man, because if I come in here and I ask the question to everyone and I say, okay, what do you expect a man to hold on to and what do you expect a man to give away? I guarantee you're going to give me different answers. You're going to get a few that are the same, but at the same time, you're going to have many and many different answers. And all the reasons behind them is going to be different. Okay? It's all the reason behind it's going to be different. It's just it is what it is. Some want men to be more vulnerable. Some don't want to see men be vulnerable. Some want men to take the lead and take charge. Some say no, they shouldn't. They should be equal. We should be 50-50. Okay. And then people get mad when men go, "What do you want me to do?" Damn everything else. What do you want me to do? So yesterday you wanted me to be more vulnerable. Today I'm trying to do that. Now you don't want it. Okay. You have to be able to move around in this world and be comfortable. We all not bosses. We all not finna be rich. But I'm not finna hate or stop somebody that's going that way or going that route. I'm not finna not ask them a question either. Yo, man, look, I've been thinking about doing what you're doing. I'm thinking about this. What do you think? Change your circle of friends around you and you'll see your circumstances or your situation change. That's a big one that men have to get used to. If your if your circle around you is not a circle that's moving or pushing you forward, whether it be giving you criticism or telling you though that was legit, that's the wrong circle. I have my like back from school days in getting it out the mud friends. If they call me and say, "Hey, man, we need to talk," I'm talking. If I'm cool with somebody and they need to talk and they know they talking to me and I'm not finna like judge them, we can talk. I'm not. I'm just not finna like sit here and judge you as a man. I'm wrong for that. I'm not. What are we teaching society? What do you want? You want A, B, and C, but then we give you A, B, and C. You want X, Y, Z. This is a you cannot have your cake and eat it too type situation. I hate that saying, but for right now, I'm gonna say it because if I got some cake, I'm gonna eat it. That's legitimate what I'm gonna do. Okay, you know what? I'm not gonna use that. I'm gonna use catch 22. Either you do, you don't, you don't. Catch 22. I'm not saying women don't have the same problem or some of the same issues. Men don't get multiple chances. Men don't get to run emotion first in a lot of situations. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm right, I don't care. I'm just telling you the feel of where I'm at. Men can't run on emotions right off the bat. We got the your gut. If a man gets a gut feeling and goes with it and it turns into emotion, he automatically is gonna feel some way about it. It is what it is. Plain and simple. You gotta keep moving. As a man, you have to keep moving. You gotta be okay with stuff. And I know there's a lot of men out there go, I don't have to be okay with it. But you do. You don't have to like it, but you have to be okay with it. That's different. Being okay with it and liking it is two different things. It's plain and simple. I've had a conversation numerous times. I always say women on Twitch or women streaming period have the upper hand. There's a bunch of creeps out there. Okay? We know this. Not just recently, Twitch has changed and had a whole nother like category for hot tubs, beaches and pools or whatever it is. That's not for me. This is Dad Bod Central right now. I'm trying to get it back right now. It's Dad Bod Central. I'm not gonna be at no beach, no pool, especially no damn hot tub on stream. It is what it is. I don't have to like it, but I'm okay with it. By all means, get your paper, boo boo. However you decide to get it. This is why I say you don't have to. You have to be okay with it, but you don't have to like it. You don't have to click on that category. You don't have to like. You don't have to go there if you don't want to go there. I'm not pushing you to go there. I'm not pushing you to stay. You decide to stay, you stay. You decide to leave, you leave. As a man, you have to be okay. You may not have to like it, but you got to keep an open mind to it. As a man, we have to see the good and the bad. We're external beings. We may fight internally about a lot of shit, but we are external people. Nothing we ever try to do has to hurt somebody off of our feelings. Damn your feelings. As a man, damn your feelings. That's what half of society wants you to believe. But then they go, why don't you show your feelings? You just said, damn my feelings a few minutes ago. You don't want my feelings. You want to hear what you want to hear. And it is what it is. I truly understand that if men move differently, you would understand why. Because right now, society needs some milk, man. This is ridiculously crazy right now. There's no point in the way things are the way they are right now. Why? And I'm not saying it's not the same for women. I'm not saying women don't have the same problem. Hell, I'm not saying women don't go through some of the same stuff we go through. But when we jump outside of our four wall home, we get outside these four walls and we go out into society and we start to move around, it's not the same. When you grow up in a household and you are taught a certain way to be, and you get outside that door and you get on your own and it's different, as a man, you have to look at yourself, you have to look at your situation and go, I can't mess this up. It is what it is. You can't mess this up. You have to do this. Nobody's holding your hand. My father sent me some money today and I called him. Why? What's this for? He just wanted to send it. You could have kept that and bought you something. You could have did that and paid a bill with it. I didn't need it. I'll make it. He said, well, now you got it. Thank you, Daddy. That's all I said. That was the end of it. That was the complete end of it. I don't move the same. I didn't expect that. As a man, I don't expect a lot. If it happens, I'm grateful for it. I really, truly am. If it don't, I'm okay. I don't need a lot. Don't ask for a lot. Don't need a Father's Day. The kid's still alive. They healthy. They got a roof over their head. They eating. Happy Father's Day. I'm good. You ain't even got to wake up and say Happy Father's Day to me. I don't need it. For those that do, that's your thing, man. Do your thing, boo boo. That's you. It's not me. I'm not finna do it. Like it's that. Like I said, I don't have to like it, but you can be okay with it. That's just point blank, period, and simple. There's no more to it than that. That's plainly it. You might not like some of the stuff going on in the world. You don't. You don't have to like it. But guess what? You got to be okay with it. You don't have to. You don't have to go into this world and have to be the most liked person everywhere. You're not gonna be. As a man, get used to it. Not everybody's gonna look at you in a positive light. Not everybody's gonna look at you and go, "Okay, I see that." Okay. Not everybody's gonna do that. And being okay with that being the situation, what you tripping for? Get that down first. Don't come into the world negative. Don't go outside and leave your home from being raised and being a man and not be able to look at stuff in a different light. As a man, it does not work for you. It's not a good fit. It don't look good on you. That's plain and simple. The question will be asked whether you're in a relationship or not. You're trying to get into one of your dating. Like, there has to be a happy medium to a lot of this stuff. And without a happy medium to 90% of this stuff, you run around like a chicken with your head cut off. There's no book into being a man. Like there's no book to being a parent. This is what it is. And until we figure out and get that straight, being a man will always be confusing. Until, as men, you are happy with yourself, it's just is what it is. This is where you will be. Um, Not everything is made for you. It's not supposed to be, and that's a good thing. You got to get out of your comfort zone. You got to understand that there are some crazy things going outside your home. Whether you choose to be a part of them or not be a part of them, or understand them or don't, that's on you. That is on you. But be a man about it. Be a man about it. Literally what I'm going to say. Be a man about it. And with that said, I'm going to end this stream now. It's been good chatting and talking with everybody. It's been 2 hours, almost 2.5 hours. Um, I am going to stream Friday. I've been streaming like maybe 1 or 2 days in the week, and I need to get back on it. So I will be streaming tomorrow. What I don't know. I am going to try to sneak my wife in here at least once or twice and see if I can get her in there and stream with me. Maybe she'll sit down and chat, talk. Maybe. Um, there is. I know who. I already know who we're gonna raid. So on Twitch, I already know who we're gonna raid. I want to thank everybody for stopping by. This has been a very fun stream. Um, but it had to be said. All the time. This world is not for this world is gonna be forever changing. And if you can't navigate through it, you're doing no justice to yourself. You're just hurting yourself. You got to be able to navigate through it. We're gonna raid my boy Raw. He's playing one of the great superheroes of all time. Don't at me. He's playing Batman Arkham Origins. I think he's going through the whole Batman series. I'm with that, so you know where we're going. I want to thank everybody for coming by and chatting with me. It's been fun. It's crap, Bry, if you don't get the hell out of my chat on Twitch, I appreciate it. I love y'all, and I will see y'all tomorrow, man. Why is it not letting me read? Yeah, underscore boy underscore raw. God damn it. Bobby.